Yo, what up? It's your boy Reason. I'm here on Follow My Recipe and I'm cooking Cajun Alfredo Pasta on Cinematic TV. So the first thing we're gonna do is open up this chicken. We're gonna wash it. You gotta wash the chicken with Dawn soap. I'm completely joking. I saw a video on that and it was funny to me. These are a little thicker. We're gonna cut it in half first. That way we can get the best, smallest, thinnest slices. I usually like to cut my slices, not like super big, but I do like bigger slices of chicken because I hate Alfredo pasta when you can't taste the fact that there's chicken in there. When I was in college, I didn't cook at all. And so I started like literally just spending way too much money on food and shit like that. So I started kind of teaching myself how to cook. I was trash at first though. Like all I used to make literally was tacos. That was like the only thing I used to make. And then, niggas always learn how to make pasta and tacos first. So pasta was the next thing that I learned how to make. But I didn't like it just like normal, so I started adding different shit to it until I got it down. If y'all watching at home, while you doing this, if you follow me, you could turn on some good music like New Beginnings by Reason. You know what I'm saying? That'll help you, that'll put you in a good cooking mood. Play that out. When that go off, you just put it back on repeat, play that again. So I'm gonna start on the bell peppers now. It's a color thing for me. I like all the colors in my shit. I know some people, they only fuck with like certain colored bell peppers or whatever the case may be. You gotta make sure that you get all the seeds out. Always wash it after I cut it, because if you wash it before you cut it, then you didn't wash the inside of it. And just thin slices. I like to cook the peppers with the chicken. That way it's all getting the same seasoning. When I was making New Beginnings, often like this, like I really had to take my time. This is my first project with the label. So for me, it was really about making my debut like worth it. I wanted to show everybody that, what I had to bring to TDE and offering TDE was just as good as everybody else, because it's big shadows over there, you know what I mean? We got legends, so it was a therapeutical process. It's a very personal project. So yeah, I've been in the studio with pretty much everybody on the label. I think the only person I ain't been in the studio with yet is SZA. It's dope. You learn a lot from people that, like these are literally legends. They're the greatest rappers, in my opinion, of our generation. And so for me, it's just all about soaking up game. One thing I learned from Dot, and I learned this from Kendrick, like when making a project, and I'm gonna probably take this approach with every project. Not probably, I definitely will. But he just told me when you're making records, like think of everything. Don't just think about the record. Think about the music video you want to shoot. Think about how you want to perform it. Maybe you add a part to a record that'll go over live. You know what I mean? Go over well live or whatever the case may be. Case in point, Mad City. The yacht. Like they could have did that song without that, but they know. You know what I mean? At a show, this is gonna go crazy. So really just taking in, everything into account. The video, the way you wanna market it, what you wanna talk about the song, how people gonna feel, interview questions. Literally think about all that while you're writing the record before you put it out, because that's the part that means the most. That's what's gonna push and drive the project afterwards. So now I'm going to the seasoning. Like I said, I season my peppers and my chicken with the same stuff. So I start off with a little bit of Lyricist first. And I'm one of the people, I'm not gonna lie, I over season, so y'all gonna see it. So regular pepper. I don't go crazy on the salt just because I already have the Lyricist, but I just kind of do like a little bit. And then I'm gonna save the Cajun for when I'm actually like cooking it. So I put that on last or whatever the case may be. Like I said, with the chicken, same thing with the seasoning. I season it the exact same way. And the chicken, I try to season it a little bit more, and then just mix it up afterwards. So we do the seasoned salt, the Lyricist, and then get a little bit of pepper. A little bit of salt because we already had the Lyricist, so not too much. And then we just want to mix it up that way. We get seasoning all throughout it. But yeah, I feel like cooking is like therapeutic or low-key. It's something that it really takes brings peace, at least to me, you know what I mean? It's just something about being able to make something from scratch, you know what I mean? It's similar to music. All right, so now that the chicken and the peppers is cut and seasoned, before I start cooking those, I'm gonna put the pasta in, because now we're on the clock. It's gonna take like 20 minutes or so to be able to cook this. gonna use most of it. And when I pour it in, I just stir it around a little bit just to make sure that they're not like clumped up on top of each other first. The water is already boiling and hot. I like to add the olive oil and the chicken and peppers in before it gets super hot, because then that should be popping you. That shit hurts. I don't like to do that. Cool, so I'm gonna dump this chicken in here. See, I told you. That's good. I was trying to beat the temperature right there. I might actually turn that down a little bit. I'm gonna just go on and dump these in. Don't even worry about it. Like I said, while you're doing this, you can still be listening to New Beginners Reason. And I just feel like it adds a little bit of flavor to the pasta while you're making it. You know what I mean? If you're making an Alfredo sauce, you play sauce by me and Vince Staples. If you adding a little seasoning, you play something more while you add a little something more. But as cooking now, I take a lemon right here. I'm just gonna use this lemon to just squeeze a little bit of lemon juice out of all of it. Now we just wait while it cooks slowly. Keep mixing up your noodles, that way it's not burning on the bottom or sticking. So I'm a visual person. If I don't feel like it's enough seasoning while I'm cooking it, I just keep adding. Just because I gotta be able to see it. I kind of separate music into two categories. I don't think one is better than the other, but there's Friday through Sunday music, and then there's everyday music. I feel like I make everyday music, but I also feel like the Friday through Sunday music is important too, because people gotta escape from reality sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, life is hard. Niggas working jobs that they hate or whatever the case may be. It's important to be able to escape and be able to have that, you know what I mean, that time to yourself on the weekend. But it's also important to be able to have music that feeds into that, you know, those struggles of life. You know what I mean? We all going through shit. I feel like that's what my music does. And I think especially during COVID, it's dope and very important because, you know, it's not really much going on. So niggas need music that they can be able to live with. The touring part sucked, especially because, like I talked about earlier, you know, I made a lot of this project thinking about touring in mind. I made a lot of this music thinking about the fact that, you know, I would be at shows and say this and drop the beat out here for the crowd or whatever the case may be. So not having that is definitely trash, but I also feel like, you know, COVID allowed time for me to be able to make a lot of great music. Like, usually I'm on the run a lot, and so I don't get time to really lock into the studio and sit down. It kind of comes in increments, and I've been able to do that. So I'm actually almost even done with my next album. You know what I mean? I'm gonna keep adding to it. I don't stop working on the album until it's damn near turned in. But I was able to really, you know, focus on making this shit as good as I can possibly make it. You know, it's a good time to be able to have conversational music. I feel like I make conversational music. You know, it's honest, and so, you know, sometimes it might rub people the wrong way, because when an honest nigga walk in the room, it's always gonna be conflict. Honesty is always gonna be met with some type of disagreement and conflict or whatever the case may be. But as long as we having these conversations, I think it's important. You know, we having conversations that people don't really have as much, you know what I mean, about whether it's from women in the industry and how hard it is to get in the industry on a record like Fall and the plights that they deal with, or whether it's, you know, Slow Down and talking about addiction with artists and whatnot. And it's like, you know, these are conversations that we never want to touch on. We don't want to touch on that. We want to, you know, it's easy to have the conversations about Trump. Any type of topic that is like generally everybody feels the same on, but we also skipping over the conversations that, you know, are very important, but people don't want to talk about it because it's just too personal. All right, cool. So around this time, when the chicken is almost there, I start adding the Cajun seasoning. I haven't used this Cajun seasoning, but I'm hoping it's like hot, because I like hot ass Cajun seasoning. I like that pasta that when you eat it, you start sweating and shit. I try to eat at a lot of black-owned spots if possible. So Orleans and York, shout out to them. It's a black-owned business. It's a man and a woman, well, husband and wife. One is from New Orleans, one is from New York. And so they made a restaurant called Orleans New York, and they serve, you know, New Orleans food and New York food, but it's fire though. Trap Kitchen, their food is super fire. Taco Mel, shout out to Taco Mel. He just moved up. He actually has a storefront now. He came from a food truck to now a storefront. It's a lot of like different like low-key spots, black-owned spots. I try to eat at a lot of black-owned spots if possible. So now, like I said, I'm ghetto. I don't make my shit from scratch. So now I'm gonna pour the sauce in here. Get as much sauce as possible, and while I'm doing this, I'm playing Sauce by Reason and Vince Staples. I'm playing that, you know what I mean, just to make sure that it hit the right way. So I'm gonna let that heat up a little bit, and then I'm gonna start adding the seasoning to that. And that's when I'm gonna go OD, I ain't gonna lie to you, because we're gonna put a lot of that Cajun seasoning in, and we're gonna throw a little bit of the hot sauce, the Crystal. I be using Louisiana, but I ain't mad at Crystal either though. So like I said, we're gonna throw a lot of this Cajun seasoning in here. Try to get this as spicy as we could possibly get it. When I'm stirring it, I'm trying to hope that it, you gotta look like damn near, like a little light red or something like that. A little bit of seasoned salt, not a lot. A lot of pepper. Y'all even knows by now I like pepper. And this is the secret ingredients. Is we're gonna have the hot sauce. And we're not gonna take it easy. Oh, this is about to be fire. And I got a hangover. This is about to be crazy. Now, if y'all can see, it's like, it's getting there, but it ain't red enough yet. Like, it gotta be there. I gotta know that when I take a bite of this, I'm gonna be able to really taste the Cajun. So currently my top 5, excluding myself, Boogie. I always tell people Boogie's my favorite West Coast rapper. Definitely Rhapsody. I've been listening to a lot of Baby Keem, so he's in my top 5 right now. Baby Keem is fire. JID, and then Kaz as well. So those are probably my top 5 right now. But my top 5 dances around a lot though. I got a lot of different people that I listen to. I'm sure when Dot drop, he'll jump right back in my top 5. You get what I'm saying? I'm sure when Cole drop, he'll jump right back in my top 5. But right now, my favorite record is Slow Down. And just because of how personal it is and what I'm touching on. But I Can Make It by Rhapsody is probably my favorite feature on the project. Shout out to Rhapsody, she just won Lyricist of the Year, which is dope, because not female Lyricist of the Year, she won Lyricist of the Year. And I think it's well deserved. I think rap is, for me, top 5 rappers out right now. Me and Kyle, we got to the studio sessions for the Dreamville sessions early. A lot of people would pull up at like 7-ish. We pulled up at like 2. And me and Kyle were like functioning alcoholics, so we started drinking as soon as we came in. And so the day before, Cole was talking about how it was rough to like Uber, because we in the slums in Georgia. We not like in Atlanta. People thought we were like in Atlanta. We off like in the country. And so he was talking about how it was hard to get an Uber to where he was at. He was like, I'm just gonna go rent a car, whatever the case may be. The next day, this nigga shows up in a LamboTruck. I'm just like, oh my God. Like, so we literally writing the verses and Cole pull up and we go outside, we see the LamboTruck. I'm telling Kaz, I'm like, yo, we should rob this nigga. Like, that's really what we should do. You get what I'm saying? Like, and literally when I said we should rob this nigga, Kaz said, rob that nigga? Like, he literally said that. And so that's how we like came up with the idea. I was like, yo, that's fire. We should go back and forth like that. You know what I mean? On the record or whatever the case may be. And that shit just turned out classic. Cole's reaction went viral. When that was like his real reaction, a lot of people thought that we planned that. Like, we brought him in the studio and let him hear it. But I'm proud of that record because a lot of the records that did really well on the project either got a bunch of niggas on it or it got big name niggas on it. And, you know, me, Kaz, and Cal Banks were all like, you know, newer artists, you get what I'm saying, that don't have like this millions of followers, but it still did well, like it still charted and went crazy and was like trending and all type of shit. So that's a proud moment, you know what I mean, because we made that just out of like, you know, an authentic situation or whatever the case may be. It was dope, that whole situation. Shout out to Cole, shout out to Barry too, just because it was different. I feel like something that's missing in the game right now is the camaraderie of, you know, people working together and doing different things in the same space. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's kind of missing in the game. And it was a dope situation because we didn't even know what we was doing. Like, I remember when I got the call, they told me that, they just said, Cole wants you to come to Atlanta and work on his album. And I'm like, Cole don't even have features. Like, that don't even make sense. But I'm not about to question it. I'm getting on the plane. You know what I'm saying? Fuck it, I'm out of here. And so when we got there, nobody knew what we was there for, and I was with Kaz the day before, and Kaz was telling me, because we was working on our project, and he was like, yo, I gotta fly out to Atlanta for a couple days to work with Cole, and then the next thing I know, I get the call, so when I walk in the studio, Kaz was tripping out, he like, nigga, I was just with you, why you didn't tell me you was coming? I'm like, nigga, I didn't know I was coming. And so, we all sitting there in the studio just wondering what the fuck is going on, you know what I mean? We playing beats and shit. And then Cole walk in and tell us that we working on Revenge of the Dreamers 3. You know what I mean? So nobody really knew, you know what I mean? Even Kaz didn't know, he on the label. He had no idea what we was doing, you get what I'm saying? So it was an authentic moment, it was fire. All right, cool, so now let's start moving everything over into one. Start getting the news, I don't wanna just dump it because it's gonna go everywhere. I'm not good with shit like that. Look, it's still doing it. So, we still still got some noodles left over. We're gonna eat that offset. And while we adding the sauce, you guessed it, we're gonna play sauce by Reason and Vince Staples while we adding the sauce into it. So I use a spatula for the, or anything with holes in it for the chicken. That way you don't get all that grease in it. Like I said, it's 2020. We care about our lives, we care about our bodies. We add the sauce on there. That's incredible. All right, cool. I just also want to point out how I did all of this without getting dirty. That's actually very impressive to me because I usually fuck everything up in the process. So now we mixing it up. And then before we finish mixing, you guessed it, we're gonna add some more Cajun and some more pepper. We're gonna drink a lot of water with this because we want to season crazy and we care about our bodies. If y'all want, you feel free. You can add shrimp to this while you're making it, you know what I mean? A little recipe together. And then that's it. So that's Ghetto Cajun Chicken Alfredo Pasta. Fire. Yo, as reason I just cooked Ghetto Chicken Cajun Alfredo Pasta. I need y'all to swipe up and subscribe to Cinematic TV. That's what I'm saying.
I gotta give it up to you, bro. This shit is fire.
That's what I'm saying, man.